Hi, this is Karen, and this is the card we're making today. When I started this card, it was a card on the fly, but I had to change the battery, and I thought I'd set the record button again, and I hadn't. I got to the end of the card and realised that the second half of the card hadn't been recorded. So we'll start again. Rewind. Okay, the card we're making is using the Bells Are Ringing stamps and the Bells Are Ringing stamps and the Detailed Bells dies. We're also using the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and all I'm using out of this one is the largest of the rectangles. The Bells Are Ringing stamps, I am using the dies for the two bells like that are in this pack, and the outline of one, and I managed to find another outline which I think is from the the elf, the Santa's Elves one that we had a couple of years ago. I managed to find a circle out of that. I can't find the rest of the dies. I don't know where they've gone. Anyway, all of the sizes and everything, as usual, can be found on my blog. This is a really, really easy card to make, and it will come together very quickly. I'm not the full quid at the moment. I'm doped up on painkillers because my knee has been giving me hell the last couple of days, so I'll have to apologise if I sound a bit dopey or a bit more dopey than I normally do. Okay, we're starting out with the Whisper White card base, which is 4 1/8 wide, and long it is 11.5. Now, there are two score lines that you can't actually see on here. One is at 2 7/8 and one is 5.5. As I said, all these measurements can be found on my blog. Now, we're using the largest of the stitched rectangle, scalloped rectangles, and we need to cut out a piece of glimmer, silver glimmer, and also a piece of Whisper White cardstock. We are also using a smaller piece of Whisper White cardstock, which measures from memory, no, I can't remember. What size was it? I know it's 3 inches long. No, it's not. It's... Okay, it's not 3 inches long. It's 3 3/4 long by 2 3/4 wide. Okay, and then we have two pieces of the Feels Like Frost DSP. They are actually cut at 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, and there's two pieces like that, and then there's two pieces that measure 3 inches by 1/2 inch, and we need two of those. And we've also got a piece of Snowflake Splendor DSP, and that measures 3 7/8 wide and 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches long, 3 7/8 wide, and I've just realised that's what confused me. This is an 11.5 inch piece of Whisper White, which is cut to 4 1/8. It's actually scored at 2 7/8 here and 5 3/4 here. That's why I got confused, because that piece is going to sit there quite nicely, and as I said, this is 5.5 inches long. Okay, as I said, I'm doped to the eyeballs, so please excuse me. Now, I've already die cut all of these for speed, so I'm just going to pop these pieces out and put the dies over there. Bring that paper, because I need to chuck the paper out, not the dies. Okay, and there's another piece in here. Yes. Okay, so we will put the dies aside over here, and our paper is covered in glitter because I'm using old glimmer paper, and new glimmer paper doesn't shed the way this old stuff did. This leaves glitter everywhere. The new glimmer paper doesn't leave any glitter anywhere. It's really good. It all stays together. Just get rid of all these skinny pieces that are supposed to come out. Paper piercer. Get rid of these 3 stars. You could actually keep these stars and pop them on maybe another card, but not today. And there's another piece to come out there and another piece to come out there. Come on, out. Okay. So we'll pop those aside and get rid of all of these scraps. Okay. I'm sorry, my camera seems to be a bit skew with today. So we'll bring in our card base, pop those pieces aside, bring in my bone folder, and I'm going to fold this in half. Make sure it's straight on both edges and give that a really good burnishing, and then fold this piece back on itself. Oh, okay, I don't know how. I will come back because I don't want a mess on the inside of the card. Okay, back in with a clean sheet of Whisper White thick cardstock. Once again, burnish at the halfway mark, and then with this piece we're going to fold it back on itself and give it another burnish. So we have a Z fold card. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my silicone mat and my 2 pieces of the Feels Like Frost DSP. Beautiful photos on the photo paper on one side, and on the other we've got the silver embossed white. Beautiful paper either side. So we're going to bring this in and just pop this down here. As I said, this card comes together really quick. It's the type that I would like to do as a production line, where you do one card after another. All you need to have is all your pieces cut out beforehand. So we'll pop this piece here, like so. Then we will bring in the inside piece of DSP, and same again. And I'm going to put some down either side like so, just a little bit in the middle so that it doesn't bow. Okay, bring that over and pop that down, trying to keep all the borders fairly even. So as you can see, the card's almost finished. Well, not quite, but it's getting there. Okay, we'll set those aside, and then I'm going to come in with some sticky glue. If you've got Tombow, you would be best using Tombow for this part, because we need this to stick really well to the glimmer paper. But before I do that, I need to stamp. So I have the sayings from The Bells Are Ringing. We're using "With Christmas here, may your heart be full with songs of cheer, and hoping this season is filled with joy." So I will bring in my "Hoping this season is filled with joy," and I'm using Night of Navy because it goes really nicely with both the Whisper White and with the silver. Give it a really good coating. And I'm hoping my head doesn't get in the shot here, but I'm hoping I'm going to get this straight. That's not too bad, Karen. Not too bad at all. So I'll pop that one aside, and where's my other stamp? Over here. So I'll bring this in, and this will go on the inside panel. So with Christmas, I'm going to try and do this a bit straighter. So if I line that up on my mat, how did I go? Oh, that's not too bad at all. Okay, so that's the inside panel, and this is the outside panel. While I'm waiting to make sure this is really dry, I'm going to come back in with the silicone mat, and the other two small pieces of DSP, and just roll some of our Stamp and Seal along, and I'm just coming up about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of this front panel and sticking one piece down, and the same again with about 1/16 of an inch between. It doesn't matter that the patterns don't match up because they're going to be covered. Now I'll put this away because we've finished our stamping, and with my luck I'll get Night of Navy everywhere. Okay, now in with our sticky glue. Said this is the old glitter paper, so the glitter comes off so easily. I need to make sure that I've got plenty of liquid glue on this panel to keep it in place. So I'm just going to pop that on there, flip this over and give it a good firm press down. Like so. And that should stay in place. I can still move it slightly to make sure that I've got an even border the whole way round. Okay, so that bit's done, and we're going to add this piece to the front of the card. So once again, we're going to need to come in with the sticky glue, because the glimmer paper, I'm not sure about the new one, but this old glimmer paper had a waxy backing. So it tended to be very difficult to stick down. The new paper, I do believe, is a lot better to use. Okay, so we've got that piece there, and we're going to pop this as central as we can and give it a good press as well. Make sure I've got that fairly straight. That looks okay. Okay. I'll set that aside, and I'm going to put my large block onto that. Make sure that panel hasn't slipped. There we go. I thought it looked a bit cockeyed. Okay, so that's resting. So while we're letting that rest, we'll bring in these two pieces. On the original card, I had the foil on the top of the glimmer, but I thought having the glimmer on top of the foil might look better, and I really do think it does. Okay, I'll just get the middle piece out of that. I actually prefer it that way, because then it looks like the old Christmas decorations my mum used to have, where it had the speckled, or the glitter had been glued to the baubles. Okay, in with a bit more of this glue, and I'm starting to run out of it in the small bottle. I might bring one of the larger bottles in and see if I've got any better luck with those. No, they're both... I thought I'd bought more. Not particularly worried if any of it comes through the gaps that have been punched out by the dies, because I can always go over with my embossing buddy and take any tackiness off. Okay, so we're going to pop that one on there, and then the same with this one. This is the only fiddly bit of this card, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so there we go, that's that one done. And I'm going to bring in another block and put it over the top of those. Let's see how this is going. Yep, almost done. Okay, so we're going to bring in the inside panel that I stamped before, which is covered in glitter. And that will sit there, but it's going to sit underneath this panel. So what I want to do is bring in my Stampin' Seal. Bit there, and a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to line the scalloped edge up with the one that's on the front of the card. Lay it down and then bring this page over and smooth it down. And there we go. When people look at it, they're going to wonder, oh, where are they signing this? Open it up and there you go, right underneath. Okay, these should be almost done now. So I will flip them over and come in with my Stampin' Dimensionals. Like so. You could add an extra one if you wanted to. Now, just to finish this off, I'm going to bring in some of the Balmy Blue glitter ribbon that we had, metallic ribbon that came out last year, and from memory it's carried over into this catalogue, and it matches so well with both of these DSPs. I'm just going to tie a knot in here, very cack-handedly I might add. Now where are my scissors? There we go. One that way, one that way. And what I'm going to do is slide the ribbon up, move it slightly towards the edge, and then come in with my small glue dot. I'm going to fold that over in half to make it that little bit narrower. Pick it up with my scissors and just pop it underneath the knot of the ribbon. And there we go. On this one, I decorated the inside panel with the knot, but I actually prefer it on the outside. I think that looks so sweet. Okay, so move all of this out the way. And there we go. I hope you liked today's card and you'll give it a go. If you need any of your supplies, please consider purchasing from me below in the shopping cart. Just click on the link for shop and it'll take you straight to my shopping cart. Everything will be listed that I've used today on my blog, so you can go, just pop over there and you can see a list of all of the materials and the measurements over there. That's enough from me for today. I hope you have a great weekend and I will see you again on Monday. Bye bye.